What up, B Squad? Happy Sunday, you guys. So, we are here I'm by myself today. So, we are here to discuss Beyond the Gates, you guys. So, this is season two. This is episodes number six through, no, number two through six, right? And this is the first week of season one. Season two. If you guys watched it, tell me what you guys thought about this week. Like, did you guys enjoy it? How did you feel about it? Now I know that there were people who were, not too pleased that we were focused so much on the Nita Cancer storyline, the BRCA storyline, and all that kind of stuff. And I get it, right? Especially if you are someone that is dealing with cancer. Um, my heart goes out to you. And I hope, because I did see some people in some of the chats that were saying that they were dealing with it. So prayers up to anybody who is dealing with cancer. And for me, overall, this week, let's see, it was a good week. It was just, we focused heavily on the BRCA of it all. We focused heavily on the BRCA. So hopefully this week coming up, we get a little bit of a reprieve. I'm hoping we get reprieve from this storyline, but if not, it is what it is. But yeah, I definitely want to know what you guys thought about the week as a whole. Did you like it? Did you not like it? And we will go ahead and and get into it. Now, since this week, like I said, it was primarily dealing with the cancer of it all. It's not like a whole lot that we got to discuss. So, like Monday's episode, let's see what I got in my notes for Mondays. Monday, it was really, we opened up Monday with Danny and Nicole getting their blood drawn to, see if they have this gene that, they need to test for. So we drew the blood for that. And then also in this episode, we saw, Nicole had a conversation with Ted. Everybody's just having conversations with each other about this testing that Nicole and Danny had to take, right? Now, we did see one scene where Andre and Ted were at the country club, right? And also, let me stop being rude, you guys. Let me say happy Sunday to you guys. Hey, Lot Queen. Hey, Cece. Like, hey, everybody. Hey, so you say it was good. I just want the saga with Bill and Haley to be over. They're dragging it out for me. Okay, okay. And the good thing is we didn't really see Bill and Haley this week, so we'll see them in next week's this upcoming week. Now I know a lot of people saw the preview of this upcoming week where Bill is telling Haley that he's tired of drinking her poison. Um, what I will say, you guys, I don't think that there's going to be what you guys want it to be. I think that I'm not going to say it's a Freudian slip, but I feel like he's not necessarily saying that that's poison. I think it's him being facetious with Haley, but we'll discuss that once we get to this upcoming week. So, um, Ted and Andre having a conversation, right? You guys know how I feel when it comes to the whole Andre, Danny, and Bill of it all. You guys know that I am not feeling that storyline, right? Because I do feel that something is going to draw Danny back to Bill, and I just do not want that to happen, right? But I definitely do feel that that's going to be something that's going to happen in this storyline. So Andre is having a conversation with Ted about Danny, right? And how when Danny found out about it, she went and had a conversation with Bill. And here's the thing that I will say. Am I upset that Danny went and had the conversation with Bill about this Anita having cancer and them having to get tested for this BRCA gene? No, I don't have a problem with it because here's the thing. At the end of the day, Bill is her daughter's father, right? And so this is something that affects not only her, but it affects Naomi and Chelsea potentially, right? So I wasn't upset with that. But I do see where Andre is coming from, how Andre is feeling like, damn, she's going to Bill, and it makes him feel away, right? And again, like I said, I'm not upset with Andre for feeling his feelings, but I do love the fact that Ted gave him some reassurance, and he was basically like, when Bill and Danny were together, we always wanted, basically, I'm paraphrasing, but we always wanted Danny to just come to the light and just realize that Bill was, no good, a piece of crap, and they just wanted Danny to get away from him, right? And so, Ted tells Andre that he's the best thing to happen to Danny. And honestly, I agree. If you guys think about it, we haven't saw wild card Danny in months. When is the last time we saw the wild card with Danny? It was back when Haley and Bill got married, and Bill and Haley are coming up on a year of being married in February. So we haven't saw that side of Danny in almost a year. So yeah. Now let's talk about y'all's favorite character and my favorite character as well. So we see Leslie. So Leslie hightailed her ass down to the hospital, right? And Shanice is kind of daydreaming and thinking about when she kissed Ted for New Year's, right? And Leslie was like, "Who you daydreaming about? It better not be my man." I was like, Leslie. The delusions with this lady. That woman is something delusional. Talking about it better not be her man. First off, Leslie, he's not your man. Secondly, you over here having this little fling with Marcel. So it's interesting that you having this little situationship with Marcel, but you still focused on Ted. I don't get it. So so Leslie told Shanice that she was there to see Ted, and Shanice was like, "Well, Ted's not here." And Leslie was like, what did she say to Shanice? She said, "Why are you keeping tabs on my man?" I was like, "Ma'am, she's a nurse in a hospital that he works at. What are you talking about?" And Shanice was like, "Leslie, girl, calm the fuck down. Like, he came by here and he told me he was leaving." And I was like, "Exactly. Shut up, Leslie." Leslie Dana Thomas is doing too much. I mean, hasn't she always done too much? So that was that. Now we move on and we see as Leslie and Marcel are at Orphe Jeans, right? And coincidentally, Jacob and Naomi are at Orphe Jeans, right? So they notice Leslie and Marcel over there at the bar, and they were like, "Should that be something that we should be worried about?" Jacob, that ain't got nothing to do with you. If Marcel wants to get involved with Leslie Thomas, let him get involved with Leslie fucking Thomas. But whatever, right? Now with Leslie and Marcel, these two are flirting heavily with each other. And with them flirting with each other, it was borderline sexual. It wasn't even no borderline. That was sexual at best. I was like, wow, should I be watching this? Should I be privy to what they're talking about? Now, it was sexual innuendo. They weren't flat out saying sex, but I'm like, y'all might as well say it because I mean, shit, the conversation, her body language, your body language, it all screams. Y'all about to go either to your house or her hotel room and, like Phaedra did, do that with each other. Like, y'all about to get it popping. And I don't want to see it. Like, I don't want to see it with Leslie and Marcel. So Leslie ended up leaving, right? And Jacob took his ass over there to Marcel to have a conversation with him. I'm like, Jacob, what does it have to do with you? I mean, since you met Marcel, you felt like he was a dirty cop. So why would you be shocked that a dirty cop would have any interest in Leslie? We know who Leslie is. We know how Leslie operates. Now, I will say I will agree with Naomi on one thing. Leslie has been a little bit calm and a little bit tame as of late, But what we're gonna see what happens with Leslie with this whole clinic thing, as well as this shouts that she's making, right? Exactly. Jacob, mind your business. Because that's all I wanted Jacob to do was just mind his damn business, because he was honestly getting on my damn nerves. Because I was like, Jacob, you doing the most, buddy. Like, you're really doing the most. So that was pretty much it for Monday. Now, we move on over to Tuesday. So with Tuesday, we opened up with Joey. Speaking of Joey, I forgot to mention this. So I know we all talked about this last week with when we were on live about the new title card with Ashley and with Naomi been updated. Well, I guess y'all were right. Ben Gavin, who plays Derek, he's not in the opening credits anymore, so they've replaced him with Joey. I was like, oh, they done upgraded Joey to a main character, and we ain't saw Derek hiding, or we ain't saw nothing of Derek. So I'm wondering what they're gonna do with Derek going forward. Like I'm curious to see how they play this out with the whole Derek of it all. Now I do know that next week we are going to be meeting the guy. I know him. I think he's been on All My Children as well as Days of Our Lives before. There's going to be a new love interest for Ashley. Y'all could have took Ashley too, if we're being honest. Y'all really could have took Ashley. Ashley, for me, serves no purpose, but hey, whatever. Now, Tuesday's episode, Joey. So there is some issues arising with his business, right? So he's called Marcel down to the casino to have a conversation with him. So what Joey wants from Marcel is he wants for Marcel to make sure that with them cleaning up that they don't clean up around Joey's front door. I was like, how is he supposed to do that? Elon is still his boss. This man still wants to retire. So I don't know how he's supposed to make this shit happen, but whatever. But Marcel, however, is worried about this whole Doug thing, right? And he's wondering if it'll rear its ugly head at some point. And I was like, that's so interesting, because Doug has been deceased for how many months? And now we talking about Doug again? It's making me feel like what really BNI has said previous. I think when it first happened with Doug, I don't know if Doug is necessarily dead at this point. Because for them to bring Doug back up randomly months later, something's off. Derek was taken off a contract. Ashley needs one. She needs a life. Even her mama went on a cruise and met a man. Like we say, I feel like they only kept Ashley because she has a storyline at the hospital with Shanice. I guess that could be true. Who knows? So, but yeah, like I said, I just think it's weird that we bringing up Doug of it all. Like I said, Doug has been dead since when? Did Doug die before the summer? Y'all correct me. I can't remember. Did Doug die before the summer, or was it in the springtime? When did Doug die? But Doug has been dead for some months now, and now we're bringing it back up. And Joey is telling Marcel, "You ain't got nothing to worry about. We're good." He's like, the camera footage has been wiped clean and all that kind of stuff. Marcel, I don't know if you should trust that. And here's why I'm gonna say I don't think you should trust that, because you're the one that allegedly did the deed to take out Dougie, old Dougie boy, right? Joey has deniability. He was with Vanessa at the time of Doug's untimely demise. So I feel like in order to keep you in line, he got that footage of you with Doug. And if you step out of line, then he gonna be like, hey, you remember the night that old Dougie boy died? Remember that video footage? I told you that I wiped clean. Yeah, that shit ain't wiped clean. It's right here, and I got a copy. And if something happens to me, I can guarantee you, somebody in the police department will find it. Probably Jacob, right? So I don't know if you should trust that. I don't know if you should trust that old Marcel. I just really don't think you should trust that he got rid of that footage. That's all I'm gonna say. You say I don't doubt it. Joey is a snake. He absolutely is. And the funny thing that I've been thinking about for the last few weeks, actually, not even the last few weeks, it's been since it happened, and Vanessa got closer to Joey. It's like, what is Vanessa gonna do when she finds out that it was actually Joey who set up Doug to die? I keep thinking, like, what is she gonna feel? Oh, she's gonna be pissed. But we'll see once we get there, right? So also in Tuesday's episode, we see Vanessa. So Vanessa went down to the casino to talk to Joey. And at the casino, she's basically telling Joey that she feels that he should take Leslie up on this offer to partner together for the clinic, right? I was like, okay, please make it make sense. Is nothing that I'm not, again, like I've said plenty of times before, when it's like with me and Really B, I just don't understand like what we're doing with Vanessa, because part of me can see that maybe Vanessa is playing Joey, but then the other part of me is like, is she really playing Joey? Because sometimes it give it, sometimes it don't give it. So I don't really know what to think when it comes to Vanessa and Joey. Like, I draw a big blank. I draw a huge ass blank when it comes to those two, right? Now, if you guys got anything that you want to add, feel free to leave it in the live chat or in the comment section. But yeah, when it comes to those two, especially Vanessa, I just don't know what the end game is with her, right? Now we move on to Eva and Isaiah, right? Despite the fact that I'm not an Eva fan, I can kind of see where Eva's coming from, but I also feel like Eva's saying these things because of for a different reason than what she's giving to Isaiah, right? So Eva is actually Isaiah is having a conversation with Eva about how he feels about her, right? At this point, Isaiah, he really is, he's really interested in Eva. He really likes Eva. He wants to see where things can go with Eva, right? But Eva is pumping the brakes on that, right? Because, Eva is saying that she feels scared and all this kind of stuff. And, she doesn't, here's the thing. I do believe that she's scared and she has these different feelings, especially with her just now getting to know Ted. I do believe that stuff. But at the same time, I also do think that when it comes to Eva, I really feel like with Eva that you pump on the brakes on him because you still have residual feelings for Tomas. That's what I think. And you guys can tell me if you agree or disagree, but that's where my mind goes. You say that clinic storyline is dumb, in my opinion. I mean, I get it, especially with it being with Leslie. You said they need to move this Eva and Isaiah storyline along. I'm not here for it. Derek and Ashley 2.0. I can kind of see that. It's not to me, it's not as annoying as Derek and Ashley. And I think the biggest issue for me with Derek and Ashley was there was no chemistry between those two. At least with Isaiah and Eva, there is chemistry. You can see it, so it doesn't seem forced, right? But yeah, she opened up to him about how she feels. She feels the same way that he does, but she's also a little bit afraid. And I'm like, yeah, you're afraid because you still like Tomas. Why? I do not know. But I feel like Eva still has a little bit of something for Tomas, right? What up, Harold? So Nicole, I thought it was funny. So Nicole was having a conversation with Vanessa, right? And Nicole was being shady towards Vanessa. And Vanessa was like, girl, why are you coming at me like that? Because she was talking about Joey. she was throwing shots at Joey, and she was like, "Girl, why are you coming at me like that?" So this is, Nicole's way of just being fearful of, potentially having this BRCA gene, right? And so she just let Vanessa know everything. And Vanessa was very supportive of her best. She's actually very supportive of both Nicole and Danny, right? And she will see that in Wednesday's episode, which we'll go ahead and talk about that. And like I said earlier, guys, this week we focused heavily on this BRCA gene, so it ain't really a whole lot to discuss. But Wednesday, the episode opened with Vanessa and Danny at the country club. And Vanessa was just asking Danny how was she handling all this stuff and how was she doing, right? And she was like, well, daddy's this, mom is this, Nicole is this. And she was like, I'm not asking about them. I asked about you. And they had a conversation about it, right? So it really ain't much to discuss there because that's really what pretty much their whole scene was, right? So where do we want to go next with this episode? Because there is something that I do want to talk about. I think I'm gonna save that for last. So Leslie, Joey called Leslie down to the casino, right? And so when she got down there, he told her like, "Hey, I'm willing to partner with you for this this clinic, right? But there's a caveat to it." And so Leslie was like, "Okay, what is it?" Like I said before, Leslie don't have a problem with sleeping with a man that is attached to another woman because Leslie, in her warped ass mind, I don't know why she went the route that he wanted her in that way. I was like, Leslie, that's not where that man was going. That is not where he was going. What up? What up? What up? What up? Montrez. But yeah, she went the route of he wants her. I'm like, Leslie. But that goes back to what I said with me and Really B. I just don't think that Leslie gives a damn about a man being attached to another woman. Because her and Marcel, when they had sex, she was asking about his wife. I was like, why are you asking about this man's wife? Like, it was so weird to me, her asking about his wife. And then he was like, he didn't want to divorce her because she was going to take everything, but the woman still is going to take everything. Whatever. So this is where I kind of got confused. And I'm asking this question again. I want to know, why is this Doug stuff coming back up again? So Joey tells her that he wants something substantial from her. And I was like, do you want some stake in this? Because I mean, it's a free clinic, so you ain't really getting much of a return out of a free clinic, but okay, whatever. No, he told her what he wants is he wants it to be named after, in honor of, actually, he wants to dedicate this to Doug. I was like, huh? That makes no sense. Now, Vanessa did tell him in a previous episode this week that Doug wanted to work with Doctors Without Borders. I was like, okay. He wanted to work with Doctors Without Borders, and he never got the chance to do so. So she wanted to do this in honor of him. And so now Joey wants to do this in honor of Doug. I was like, this makes no sense. Like, now Leslie clocked it that he was behind Doug's death, but she don't know how right she was, right? Because she was like, are you doing this for Blondie? Like, are you doing this to make her feel good? You'll get major brownie points with Vanessa. He was like, that's not why I'm doing this. I'm like, that's exactly why you're doing this. You're trying to absolve your guilt. So then she was like, well, I'm not gonna dedicate it to Doug, but what he can get is one of the rooms named after him. I was like, you know what, Leslie, I ain't even mad at you, but I am gonna say I agree with Joey. We definitely do need to change the name of this clinic from the Leslie Thomas Outreach, whatever the hell it is. We need to change the name of that to something else. We need to change the name of that expeditiously. You say Doug might not really be dead. I don't think he is at this point, because it's very weird and very random that Doug's name is coming up all of a sudden. We ain't now. Granted, we have talked about Doug, but we've talked about Doug through the kids, Deanna and Donnell. Is that his name, y'all? We've talked about him through Deanna and Donnell, but we've never just talked about Doug like we are right now. Like we've had what now 2 episodes where we discussing Doug. I was like, it's something going on. Like, I don't think that Doug is dead. But hey, it is what it is. Good afternoon, Virgo Vision. Dominique, you say, I think they got the test results mixed up. I believe it was Nicole, which is why she was having a hard time having a baby. Okay. That would be interesting. I mean, it's a medical malpractice lawsuit. If that is the case, I would hope the hospital didn't do that, but we'll see. Now, the thing that I want to talk about, and I saw a lot of discourse about this. I saw people who came one direction, and I saw the people who went another direction. So Nicole went over to Martin and Smitty's house, and they had brunch with each other, right? So then they sat down and they had a conversation. And so Tyrell was there, and they said, she's like, where's Samantha? Samantha was upstairs asleep, right? So she's like, well, go wake up your sister and bring her downstairs. So she wants to have a conversation with Samantha and Tyrell about the cotillion. Now, when it comes to the cotillion, like I said, there was mixed reviews about the cotillion and some, Tyrell versus Nicole. Some people felt like Tyrell was, there were people who were attacking Tyrell for his opinions. There were people who were saying, he wasn't wrong. And there were people who agreed with Nicole. So you guys remember last week that Jessica did not want to go to the cotillion, right? And so this week, Tyrell has taken on Jessica's stance when it comes to the cotillion. And I didn't appreciate Martin trying to shut him down and treat him like he was a kid and being disrespectful and rude to Nicole when Nicole asked him verbatim, tell me how you feel. But when he tells her how he feels, Martin has an issue with it, right? So what I will say, you guys, when it comes to Tyrell not being here for the cotillion and Nicole, me personally, I saw both sides, right? Because I know what cotillions do. I know what cotillions do and what they're for, right? And I even mentioned the fraternities and sororities, right? I know what all those things are. I know what they all do for us as Black people, right? Especially when we do it. I know what the cotillions, symbolize. For me, what I will say is I think I'm like Lock Queen. I'm 50-50 because I agreed with some points that Tyrell was making because it does, with the cotillions, let's just be real, it does give the haves versus the have-nots, right? When it comes to the cotillions, most time you see with the cotillions, the debutante balls and all that kind of stuff, those are people who come from money, and you don't typically see people who are on the opposite side of the gates, right? Not always, but I do love the fact that Nicole says that they do, they do every year bring, sponsor someone. But most times when these people sponsor someone, it's just one person that you're sponsoring. It's not like you're sponsoring a whole entire group of people. So, and then Nicole gave the benefits of the cotillion, right? And, and I know, I absolutely 100% know the benefits of cotillions and, the sororities and the fraternities. They're for us, they're by us. They typically give back to the community. They they help kids go to school. And then even with the fraternities and sororities, when you graduate, you have a sisterhood and a brotherhood. Like at my job, there's a whole one of my good friends, she's a Delta, right? There is an organization in our one of our orgs that specifically is for the Deltas, right? And even I'm part of this thing. It's called ZA. It's all about African American, right? And we have people who are not black in our organization. We have people who are not black in there, and then we do have people who are part of the Divine Nine and all that kind of stuff, right? So I know the benefits, but I also do know that you can make people feel less than if they don't in a certain area code, zip code, tax bracket, all that kind of stuff, right? So Tyrell wasn't 100% wrong. The thing about Tyrell is I just hated that Tyrell is taking on the plight of Jessica. That was the only thing for me that I hated. What up, Xavier? Harry said Martin is controlling. He feels like he knows best for everyone, and what he says goes. Anything against his judgment, he has an issue with. Absolutely, he is a control freak. But I honestly got where Tyrell was coming from. I did not like that Martin was shutting him down. But I love the fact that Nicole was like, no, I asked him, and I want him to express himself. I want him to freely be able to express himself. But yeah, for me with the cotillion thing, I can't necessarily say that I'm 100% against Tyrell because I'm not against him. Like I said a few minutes ago, I just wish that this was his thoughts and opinions and not that of Jessica's, because he made extremely valid points. He made valid points and he articulated himself well, right? And I like the fact that Nicole did not specifically tell him, oh no, Tyrell, you're 100% wrong. She said she gave him the benefits of the cotillion and all that stuff, right? And the sororities and the fraternities. She gave him the benefits. And she even said, like, there's something that, your generation can teach my generation and vice versa. And I was like, exactly. I think we can all learn from each other. I think we can all learn from it. And I like I said, I do think that there are some things that can be tweaked and done to, especially the cotillions, because again, the debutante balls, I agree with Tyrell. That is essentially the haves versus the have-nots, because he said it so well that if him and Samantha weren't a part of this family, they wouldn't be looking at two kids with a drug addicted mother and an absentee father. They wouldn't be looking at them to be a part of this. So I just want you guys to tell me what you think. And if you guys agree with Tyrell, you can leave it leave it. And if you guys disagree with him, leave that as well, right? If you guys agree with what Nicole said, I don't have a problem. Just be respectful of everybody when we have our conversation about it. But like I said, for me personally, I'm just kind of split. I'm split in the middle because again, I know the benefits of it, but at the same time, it does very much so give the haves versus the have-nots. It really does. Because again, I know that they do sponsor kids, right? I know that they sponsor kids every year, but it's not like they take a group of kids and sponsor. They typically sponsor maybe one or two, not the whole community. So let me know what you guys think. You say they both gave good arguments. You agree? Yeah, I think that they did well. It was just that fucking Martin. It was Martin and his high booty ass. Like, I want Martin to get that stick out of his ass, is what I want Martin to do. So we'll move on to Thursday, you guys. So Kat and Chelsea got into it with each other, right? Because Kat is still adamant that she is not going to do the genetic testing. We discussed this last week, and I know people felt like Kat should do it. And here's what I will say. And I know most of y'all don't care for Kat. But in this particular instance, I definitely do have I'm a defend Kat in this instance for sure. Because I don't think there's a right or wrong thing. I don't think there's anything right or wrong when it comes to her decision. Because at this particular moment, Kat doesn't, I mean, we don't know if Nicole has it or we don't know if Danny has it. So why are I get it that you want to be proactive, but why are we being proactive if our mothers haven't even gotten tested yet and we don't know if they even have it? you know. So it's nothing that we can do. It's just a whole lot of if, ands, or buts. Like if this happens, if that happens, if this happens. It's a lot of ifs in the air. So I can't do anything with an if. I get where Kat is coming from. Now, if she now where I can say that I don't agree with Kat is if Nicole tested positive, she doesn't want to do it. That I don't agree with, right? Because it's like you know that your mother is a carrier for it, so you would want to be on high alert and you will want to let your doctors know, hey, my mother has this and I want to get tested to make sure that I don't have it. Because if I, you want to give yourself a fighting chance no matter what. And just because you have the BRCA gene, it doesn't mean that you're going to get cancer. It just increases your likelihood of getting it, right? You say Chihiro said that's fine that Catherine doesn't want to do it. People process things differently, so I'm not gonna fault her for not wanting to rush towards that because Anita having breast cancer is a lot to deal with. Exactly, and a lot of people were calling Kat selfish, and I can agree that she was. It can look like she's selfish, but the real true deal that I'm noticing with Kat is scared. Like her grandmother has cancer. Her mother could potentially have this gene that could be potentially passed to her. So everything that she was doing was fear-based reactions, in my personal opinion. You guys may agree, you guys may disagree, and that's fine, right? So instead of worrying about what she can't control and what she doesn't know, Kat wants to put her focus into Chelsea Cat, right? But Chelsea is not okay with that. And I was like, Chelsea kind of pissed me off because it's like I get that you're concerned and that you're worried about it, but you can't push that. Like you can't push your thoughts, your ideas, your beliefs onto other people. That's not something that you can do. And especially not someone as headstrong as Kat. Like you can with Kat, it's like leading a horse to water. You can lead the horse to water, but you cannot make it drink. And that is Kat. You can tell Kat all the ramifications, all the benefits, all you can give her a list of things. She's not gonna change her mind. So y'all can keep doing that. So she got pissed. And because now I do kind of agree with Chelsea when she like they need to focus on Anita. But again, Kat is very fearful at this point. So I don't necessarily think that her fear would be good for Anita. If I'm Anita and I am getting ready to go into chemo, I don't want somebody around me that is treating me like I'm porcelain glass or boo-hoo crying around me. I need someone who is going to be there and be a rock for me. I don't need fear around me. I'm already fearful enough. And y'all, again, like y'all can see that this girl is scared. I don't know. I feel like a lot of people wanted so much from Kat. But again, if someone is looking at their own mortality, would you want somebody around you that's scared that you're gonna die around you? Like, no, I would not want that. And I even said this in one of the on a Facebook group that I'm at, right? When my grandmother had cancer, and I have a big, huge family, there were family members who did not come around. Some people don't want to see their loved one in pain or they just want to see them looking like that, right? So I can't beat up on Cat. I really can't. You hear her say, yeah. And in this instance, fear is a valid enough reason not to rush towards having herself tested. Exactly. We don't know what that girl would do. You say, I agree, Cat is scared, and them pushing her is not helping. Absolutely. So Tomas came over, and I was like, oh God. Tomas. That acting, it gets worse and worse and worse. Because him trying to be a comfort to Kat in Monday's episode and in Thursday's episode, I was like, oh God, can y'all end this scene? Because he was not helping at all. It was just bedpan acting. And y'all know how I feel. I don't want to take nobody's paycheck away from them, but Tomas and his acting, no more, no mas. No, it's a hell no. So another thing that I want to talk about, and I've made this very clear, y'all know how I feel about this. Nicole and Carlton. I'm not feeling it. So she revealed to Martin that she and Carlton are dating. I was like, oh God, why? So they talked about the cotillion and everything and her test results. To me, it's just weird seeing her with Carlton and knowing the fact that Carlton is Ted's business partner. Yeah, that just ain't gonna never sit right with me. You know? Let me know what y'all think about that. But that shit just ain't gonna never sit right with me. You say I can't wait for Catherine to punt the Puerto Rican pretty boy far into the horizon. Yeah, I want that as well. You know, Harold, I've been wondering that to myself. What happened to Kyle? I don't know. I do not know. I hope they bring him back to date because I mean, I want her. I would prefer her with him over fucking what's his name, Carlton. Martin checked the fuck out of Nicole. He did. It's just weird to me. Hella weird. Now, Corey says, I wish we had got to know Carlton before they put him with Nicole. Even if we got to know the man, I still wouldn't be here for it because again, he is still Ted's business partner at the end of the day. And that is still weird to me. Because it makes it look like you were pining after Nicole the entire time that she was married to Ted. Which is weird. So Anita and Vernon, right? So they're talking about her starting chemo the next day, right? So Vernon, he was able to get Danny and Nicole's test results pushed up. And I was like, okay, cool. Come on, Power. So Anita is she's in a headspace where she knows that she's going to be going to chemo the next day. And she also knows that Nicole and Danny are going to get those test results. So she's kind of beating herself up because she knows she's going to be in dialysis, not in chemo, while the girls are getting their news, and she can't be there to support them at that particular time. So I can't even imagine what that is. I can't imagine what that feels like. Is that Dr. Kyle kissing Ashley in the preview? No, that's not. That's a whole new character that's kissing Ashley in the preview. God, why is Ashley still here? I don't feel as strongly about Carlton as everyone else, but why introduce Kyle if they were just going to keep her paired with Carlton? That I agree with. Even though I agree with the Kyle part, not the Carlton part, because I am dead set against Carlton because it's just weird to me. Like Ted is your friend and your business partner. No, 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 no. Hard pass. Aesthetically, they're a good looking couple, but for me, it's just a hell no because it's just weird. It just looks like he was pining after Nicole this entire fucking time. But hey, we'll move on. I don't want to keep poking that horse. So Anita left to go shopping, right? And so when she came back with some stuff for Mardi Gras. And I was like, oh, pretty cool. Because I mean, y'all know Mardi Gras is it's around the corner. I actually want to go to Mardi Gras this year, but I don't know if I will. But when is Mardi Gras? I need to look that up and see when it is. But neither here nor there. So Anita just wants to have tonight with her family and just have fun, just let loose and not even think about what she has coming up for tomorrow. So she called Nicole, she called Nicole, she called Danny, she called the whole family, right? She even called Kat. And Kat did not answer the phone because Kat is doing self-care with Tomas. And Tomas was like, do you need to answer the phone? And she said, no. So I know a lot of people were upset that Kat did not answer the phone. And I was like, am I upset that she didn't answer the phone? No. Do I wish she answered the phone? I do. But was I upset that Kat didn't answer the phone? I wasn't. I wasn't, but I will say I was a little disappointed. I was like, Kat, just pick up the phone because Nicole called her. Chelsea texted her. Anita called her. Like everybody called Kat, but she just didn't want to answer the phone. And I was like, again, this lends to what I said earlier. This is fear for Kat. And for the whole entire family to call her, I was like, she's probably thinking that they are trying to get her to the crib to change her mind about how she feels. Harold says, who knew they celebrated Mardi Gras in the DMV? I don't think they do. The reason why Anita celebrated it is because, she said her and Vernon had planned on going to Mardi Gras this year, but this threw a wrench in the plans, right? Mid-February. Okay, Fat Tuesday is the 17th this year, right around the corner. Okay, I was trying to remember what day it was. I couldn't remember when. I know it's mid-February, but okay, we'll see. Grace says they don't. Catherine is afraid. That's fine. I just give her some space for the time being. And I agree. Baby, the Dupree family does apparently, right? Well, I mean, I'm next door neighbors to Louisiana because I was about to say we don't do it as big as Mardi Gras, but I mean we do have like you can go to the store, you can buy your Mardi Gras themed stuff. You can like there are places here in Dallas that do make the king cakes. Now I don't know if they're as good as they are in New Orleans, but there are places around Dallas that make king. Because I know one year at when I worked for the company that I worked, not the one that I worked for, the last company the previous company that I worked for, we had a whole Mardi Gras party. We had a whole Mardi Gras party on Mardi Gras, and somebody brought in the king cake, right? So, but I mean, again, I'm in the South. I know they consider DMV South Southern, but it's not, in my personal opinion. But hey, whatever. What up, Sweet Pea? Hero said, okay, I've been in and out with Brianna Gates for the past couple of months, so I've probably missed a couple of things. Okay, no, you good. So that was pretty much it. They had a grand time with the Mardi Gras of it all, and I was like, that's cute. So then we get to Friday, and really and truly, there's nothing to discuss with Friday outside of hell, really nothing to discuss because Friday was just the whole day of us finding out who has the BRCA gene and who doesn't, right? So Nicole is with Martin Smitty, and she checks her results, and she finds out that her test results are clear. Danny was with Naomi, and she found out that her test results are positive, right? So Nicole was like, I'm coming over. And so Danny said, Naomi wanted to text Chelsea. And she was like, no, don't text Chelsea. Just go tell her, right? Also, Naomi and Jacob were at the country club. They had a workout, and it was just to get her mind off of things, right? And when she said that, and they sat down for breakfast, he was like, maybe we should go to therapy because there's definitely some, you're doing a lot of stuff, basically avoiding stuff. And she got pissed off at him only to go to her mama's house and say she is trying not to think about this stuff. I was like, Naomi, you're getting on my nerves. So Andre tried to get Danny to go work out with him, right? But she was like, no, she's just gonna stay behind. And so him and Jacob met each other at the country club, right? And they were having a conversation. Once again, they're talking about Danny, Andre, and Bill, and just how happy everybody is that Andre is with Danny. He's a good fit for Danny and all that kind of stuff. And Jacob asked him like, what's gonna happen if she tests positive? He's like, I'm in it for the long haul, right? He even told Carlton that as well, that he's in it for the long haul. So when Nicole left to go to see Danny, she told Martin to call Vernon up and let Vernon know that the test results came in and Danny was the one that tested positive, right? So he called him, and Anita was in the chair asleep. So when she woke up, she asked, like, did the results come in? And he said, not to my knowledge, right? And so we see Naomi. So Naomi went to go tell Chelsea that the results are back. And so Kat looked at her. She was like, both of our moms tested positive. She's like, no. She said Aunt Nicole didn't test positive, but mom did. So we have to get tested, Chelsea. And so Kat was like, Chelsea, no matter what, I am here for you. I got your back, right? So they went over to Danny's house, and Kat apologized to Danny. She was like, I'm so sorry that I wasn't, at Grand's last night. And everybody's telling her, it's okay, you're fine, we understand. Even Nicole said, it's okay. And she was like, because I'm going to be here for you, Aunt Danny, and everybody else, and Grand. And they were like, we know that, and we're fine, right? And that's pretty much all that we had. So Nicole went upstairs, and Danny was in bed, and Danny just broke down crying when Nicole got up there. It was a lot. It was kind of a heavy week. I knew that one of them would test positive, but I honestly thought it was going to be Nicole and not Danny. But we're going to see how things play out. Andre and Danny need a storyline besides the good sex. It's irritating at this point. It's funny that you say that, because the last time I did a review on my channel with Really B, Cajun got in the comments and said the same thing about the sex. So this is in response to Locke when you say, this is why I'm someone who wasn't really interested in them as friends with benefits, and surely not as a married couple. So a lot of y'all are sick of the sex, huh? I mean, y'all, they're newlyweds. So I don't really, newlyweds typically have sex, right? That's why most times when they get married, they have a baby right after their wedding. So I'm not too upset about them having sex, but I know it can be annoying, right? Because that's really all we see with those two. So I get it. Corey, you say I knew one would get the gene and the other wouldn't. Thank God I didn't have the gene. The results. Thank God I didn't have the gene. The results take weeks to come back. Okay. It's cringy AF. So having the BRCA gene doesn't mean you will get cancer. I have two different answers to this. So no, having the BRCA gene does not mean you're going to get it. The only thing that it means is that you just have, like, when it comes to your doctor screening you for breast cancer and all that, well, not even just breast cancer, any kind of cancer, it just means that the doctors have to do a thorough, more, I guess, like a more in-depth testing for that, because it increases your chances. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to get it. It's just you have a higher chance than other people who don't have that gene. That's all it is. You just have your risk increase more than other people's, right? You say, well, no, it's not just about the sex for me. I'm just not interested in Danny and Andre in general. Okay. Okay. Yeah, and I think that's really what it, well, from what I've looked, 'cause I kind of looked into this. But yeah, you have to be proactive. Because it doesn't 100% mean that you can get it, we'll get it, but it just, let me Google it. I'm not a doctor, but I don't think that just because you have it that you're automatically going to get it. I just think that let's see. So this is from the National Cancer Institute. Yeah, it says here, people who inherit a harmful change in one of the genes has increased risk of several cancers, most notably breast cancer and ovarian cancer, but also several other types of cancer. People who have inherited a harmful change in BRCA1 or BRCA2 also tend to develop cancer at younger ages than people who do not have such a variant. Nearly everyone who inherits a harmful change in BRCA1 and 2 gene from one parent has a normal second copy of the gene inherited from the other parent. Having one normal copy of either gene is enough to protect cells from becoming cancer, but the normal copy can change or be lost during someone's lifetime. Such a change is called a somatic alteration. A cell with a somatic alteration in the only normal copy of one of the genes doesn't have sufficient DNA repair ability and can become cancer. So yeah, I don't think I'm again from looking at this, it is an increase in get, but I don't necessarily, but like it says here, it's most notably breast cancer and ovarian cancer, but also several other types of cancers. Yikes. Interesting. But and I don't think that they would be talking about this if they hadn't researched it. I don't, but I mean, consult your doctors, you guys. So, and I think that's also why I think that's also why they're bringing this to light, just to inform people, right? Because does it hurt to know? No, but I think it's increased testing for people who had. I'm pretty positive that's what it is. It's increased testing for people because, like I said, you can get it younger than most people. So we'll see how they play the storyline out. Uh, you say I don't know what to think. Like I said, just consult your doctor. And I'm glad, like I said, that's why I'm glad that they've actually brought this to light because it can help a whole lot of people. And I know people have felt a way about the cancer storyline, but I also do feel that this can help save someone's life out there, right? Because I mean, look at it. There are a lot of young people who do have cancer. I even know someone personally that she died, I think in, when did Sherry die? Sherry died, and this is a classmate of mine, by the way, and she died. I, we had to be in our early 30s at this point when she died, because I think she died in 2020, or it was during the pandemic. So it was either 2020 or 2021, and we were very young at the time. Like we were still young, but early 30s that she passed away from cancer. You're welcome. You say, I think it's where they just screen you more frequently instead of once a year. I think it's twice a year. Yeah, I think it's increased testing. That's why Angelina Jolie had a double mastectomy years ago. Also, her fallopian tubes and ovaries removed. Her mom died at a young age from this gene. Exactly. I was just gonna mention Angelina Jolie. So yeah, like I said, I'm glad that they're doing this. And again, I know that there are people who have cancer, who have loved ones like myself, who have battled cancer, and the cancer took over. So I just think I honestly feel like this was helpful and it might be scary because hell, I'm even thinking about it myself because I had a conversation with, so not the company that I work for now, but 2 companies ago, I went to we had to do, with me having insurance with them, they want you to do your annual checkups, right? And so I was sitting down with the nurse practitioner and we were having a conversation because she was asking me like, is there any kind of anything that runs in my family? And I told her, high blood pressure runs in my family. And I said, it looks like cancer runs in my family. And I asked her, like, should I get tested? Because I was like, my grandfather, my maternal grandfather had, cancer, prostate cancer, right? And I had an uncle that had cancer. That cancer metastasized. Oh, God. And then my grandmother had cancer, right? So I asked her, like, should I get tested? And the woman said to me that for my age, she wouldn't suggest it. And I was like, but I was like, it just seems like it runs in my family. I'm like, and I was that's and I now that I'm thinking about it, y'all gonna look at me why I say I understand cat. I understand cat because it actually now kind of scares me to think about it. Because when I sat down with my primary care physician for my physical in September, he brought it up. He was like, in a few more years, we're gonna have to start doing start testing you for prostate cancer. And I was like, oh God, I'm like, I am getting to that age at this. I am getting to the age where I'm gonna have to have a yearly prostate exam. And it scares me. It really scares me. But I am gonna get it done. So don't freak out, don't worry about it, because I'm definitely getting it done. But it just scares the hell out of me to think that I'm getting to that point where I'm gonna have to sit down and have a prostate exam done at some point. But hey, that's it, you guys. But I thank you guys for joining me. So I'm gonna give her really because y'all know she was out of town this weekend. So oh, like I'm literally thinking about that fucking prostate exam. Oh God, we gonna do it. We gonna get it done because it's coming. It's around the corner. It ain't that far away. It's literally getting closer than I think. Mm. Yeah, we ain't no spring chickens no more. We definitely ain't. But yeah, you guys, that is it. I hope you guys enjoyed just me today. So really be and I should be back together next week. I think. Hold on. What is next week? Next week is MLK weekend, right? Next week is MLK weekend, if I'm not mistaken. And next weekend is this weekend come up is MLK weekend. And my nephew's birthday is Monday, but his mom just told me she's having a dinner for him on the following Saturday. But I feel like I want to go home and surprise him and see him, maybe because he's turning 13. Huh. Maybe I'll go see him. I don't know, but we will definitely be here. Hopefully next week. I'm gonna text really be and talk to her, and we'll see. Um, what up, DB? You say I've been in the bushes listening, but I was here. But I appreciate you. You Sunday cleaning. See, I cleaned up yesterday. The only thing I got left to do is do not judge me when I say this, but I just took my Christmas tree down Thursday or Friday. I think I just took my Christmas tree down, but I have not put it in the box. So the Christmas tree is still in the damn floor in my living room, and I just took the box out yesterday. So I just got to put the damn thing in the box and put it back in the closet. But yeah, so that's all. So that's it. You say JB, they do blood tests, a PSA, which lets you know if it's elevated on your. Now, I will say I did. So when I went to did my physical with my doctor this year, they did a blood work, and so they tested for everything. So all my blood, everything is good on my blood work. Thank God, everything was good. The only thing that my doctor has concern about is the other thing that runs in my family, the high blood pressure. I have it. So we're trying to figure out the right medication for me with my high blood pressure. That is the only thing that I have a problem with at this point is my high blood pressure. That is it. That is all. But I'm doing things to, bring it down. I don't know if y'all can tell, but I've actually lost quite a bit of weight. So because I'm down 23 pounds from when I from last summer. I'm down 23 pounds and I'm trying to get down another 20 pounds and I'll be happy. Oh, I appreciate you guys. You said mine is still up, LOL. I might take it down next week. Yeah, that damn thing. Oh, that damn Christmas tree. It was just sitting there. I'm like, okay, I'm tired of looking at this damn Christmas tree. That's all black people. I have it too. Yeah, I think it is it's something that runs in our genes. I hate that it does because I was like, when that man said, I think, well, and I know I think because when we sat, and my doctor is a black man, I specifically researched because I wanted a black physician, and I found him. I love my doctor. He is amazing. So he did. The nurse took my blood pressure. She's like, "Oh, your blood pressure's a little elevated." I was like, "Yeah, I've been hearing that quite a bit lately. That it's a little bit elevated." So he came in. He was like, "So your blood pressure's a little elevated." He was like, "Does high blood pressure run in your family?" I was like, "It does." I was like, "My mom was on it. My grandmother was on blood pressure." And I was saying, I was like, but I don't, I was like, and I told him, I was like, I just don't want to be one of those people that walk around with a whole lot of pills. Cause that was the one thing with my mom and my grandmother and some of my aunts and uncles. They have pills galore. And I don't want that. I don't want that for my life, is to walk around with a bag full of fucking pills. I did as a kid because I had asthma. I had asthma, sinuses, allergies, and all that kind of stuff, right? As a kid, I did have to walk around and I hated, I had a medicine bag as a kid, and I luckily got away from that stuff because I outgrew my asthma and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, I just don't want to walk around with a fucking pill bottle that I have to take a slew of pills every fucking day. And so, he was like, well, we can talk about some dietary things that you can do. And I was like, that would be better. But then he was like, I'm just gonna be honest with you. He was like, it's gonna be better just to say you got high blood pressure. And then I told him that my biological mother is on dialysis. He's like, wait. Your biological mother's on dialysis? I was like, yeah. He was like, okay. He was like, so he explains to me, he was like, the reason she's probably on dialysis is because her blood pressure probably went unchecked for so long. And that is because he was like, that's a result of that. I was like, oh. I was like, you know what? In that particular case, let's go ahead and put me on some blood pressure medication. He was like, okay. So I've been on blood pressure medication since September. Ah, it feels so weird to say that at my age, but better to be proactive than reactive. So that's all I got, you guys. But I'm gonna get off of here. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Now I know that somebody in the chat asked last time, I don't forget who it was, but somebody asked when me and Really B were talking about what we had coming up, if either one of us will be doing the Valley Persian style. So you guys, I will eventually be doing that. I didn't know that 2 episodes aired last Thursday. So I'm gonna do that at some point this week. I don't know when. So what I'm thinking is it'll probably be pre-recorded, and then if I can get to it and do it live, we'll do that. But as of right now, it'll be pre-recorded. So what I got coming up for the rest of this week is, you guys know, the Real Housewives of Potomac is on tonight. Baddies, Married to Medicine. I skipped Married to Medicine last week, didn't watch it. I might watch it this week and see what I missed, and then if I feel like this episode tonight gives something, we'll be back with that. Salt Lake City, I got to get caught up on that because the reunion starts this week, so I want to do the reunion. And then what else we got? Traders is back, and Ready to Love should be wrapping up soon. I hope so, because this ain't given. Oh shit, I didn't do Ready to Love. I just thought about that. I didn't do Ready to Love or Abbott, and I took the notes for both of those shows. Huh. Y'all will get that at some point. So yeah, that's it. And also Love After Lockup is back this coming Friday, so I'm excited about that. So that is all I got, you guys. It was really good. It was really good. I enjoyed the Traders. So yeah, you guys, that's all I got. So I'm gonna have to get off here at some point and do Abbott and Ready to Love, because again, I took the notes, intended to record the videos yesterday so that they could be up today. I forgot about them. But I'm gonna hop off here, you guys. I hope you guys have a great rest of your Sunday, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, y'all.